This one's a bit of a job that we are way overdue on doing. It's time to pick the sweet potatoes. G'day, it's Rachel here from Bush Hedge Homesteading Australia, and I'm with my youngest today because we are well overdue for pulling out our sweet potatoes for this year.
Hello.
So what we need to do is kind of chop all of this back, find the sweet potatoes that are in here, and we also need to put aside some of the smaller bits of sweet potatoes so that we can continue growing some for next year. And that's because essentially what we do is we keep this bed here as a bit of a permanent bed in the greenhouse, and we've probably had sweet potatoes going in here continuously now for about 8 years. There was one winter I thought we'd lost them, but they did come back, thankfully. But this year what we're going to do is we're going to put some back in here, and I'll probably start a couple in pots as well, because I actually want to have a go at doing some outside in this upcoming growing season. Much too cold to put them out there now, but yeah, if we get some going in pots in the greenhouse, and if they get going, hopefully they'll be nice and ready to get outside in spring. Now, I am not going to be doing the lion's share of the work in here today. That's where you come in, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, because we have had some absolutely horrible winter colds in the family, and I'm still pretty under the weather. But you're feeling fine, aren't you?
I feel good.
You better be careful, you might get us copyrighted or something if you
No, I think my singing's too bad.
No, you're all good, buddy. So yes, my youngest is going to be doing a lot of the work here. And the first thing that we need to do is start chopping back some of the vines that we have here. So you can probably see that it is like well and truly winter now. Lots of bugs been kind of getting stuck in as the plant's becoming a bit unhealthier and stressed with the colder weather. We're also getting bits of the vine starting to kind of die off as well. So that is definitely an indication that we should be pulling them out. One of the other things that I often also find at this time of the year, if we leave it too long, we actually seem to get rodents in here, and you know, they can start nibbling on some of the sweet potatoes, and then they start rotting in the bed as well. You do just need to get them out before it kind of gets to that stage. So well and truly, we want to get them out now. So the first thing is I'm going to hand these pruners over to you. And do you want to start getting in here? And what we're going to do is, if we push some of this vine to the side, you can see how there's some areas where there's bits of the sweet potato like this.
Yep.
What you want to do is you want to snip it off above where some of these nodes are, so that when we go to plant, you know, we've got some of these areas where it can strike from those nodes again. Do you reckon you can get in there and do that?
Yep.
You're going to clear some of that out of the way first so you can get in there?
Yep.
It's a great idea. Some of these vines have gone a long way, haven't they? Oh, look at that. Probably need to snip that bit there too. Alright, we want to start pulling some of that out, and I reckon we can start just creating a pile outside here now. See, you're getting it. Ooh, that is super long. So you can see here, some of these areas, that's where we're going to grow from for the next ones. So what we want to do with that is just kind of snip that off, and we'll be able to pop that back in to replant. I reckon what we do is we are going to put aside some of these pieces that we want to regrow from. And what we'll probably do is also just have a bit of a look through these vines as well, because there's probably a few bits in there as well. I normally find where there might be some root that we can grow off as well. There's a piece there that we'll probably be able to grab. So I'm just going to pop those over here so I don't squish them. And what we'll do is we'll use one of these seed trays, and that's where we're going to put our sweet potatoes that we're going to take inside for eating.
I found a sweet potato jackpot in just one little hole. It's gone so many. I'm just trying to pull this one out.
Ooh. All right, do you want to start popping them straight in here? They're all little ones, but I reckon you're going to get some true jackpots a little further down in there. Ooh, that's looking a little bit better. Nice. Look like there's some bits that
This
are
is
starting to get a little bit buggy eaten and a little bit rotten.
I think this one's really big because I can't even pull it out.
All right. Well, do you want to just get? Oh, that one is really, really hard in there. Just be careful when you dig around it, because you don't want to scratch the outside, otherwise it won't store.
Yeah. Ooh, ooh. That is really big. Still cannot pull it out. It's very deep in there. Oops, sorry about that.
That's all right. I'm getting in your space, aren't I? All right. You got to be careful when you. Yeah, you got to be careful, otherwise they can snap.
Don't want that to happen.
It's almost like digging for fossils. Be gentle.
Yeah, they're very edible fossils.
That one is pretty stuck, isn't it? Oh, if we give it a bit of a wibble, sometimes that's a better approach than just trying to pull it out. All right, give it a pull.
Oh my god!
Jackpot!
This is so big. It's bigger than my hands.
That is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, you want to pop it in? Hopefully there's a few more like that in there.
I hope so.
Oh, that's another good one.
It's really long. It reminds me of a carrot. I remember once we were in the garden when I was little and you picked out a carrot for me and it was like really, really big. And we got like the shaver thing and we shaved it away and I ate it and it was so good.
Ooh, another good one. Yep, that's great. Got another big one?
I think so. It is actually deep in there. Oh, don't want to break it.
Oh!
Sorry for snapping it. It's like, look at it. Look at the hole. Look at the hole. Look at how far down it goes. It actually goes like really far down, and you could see. I actually think I accidentally snapped a bit of it off.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about that, but I reckon we could have a good meal. This is my hand comparison. It's really long.
Well, I reckon, even though that snapped, that's still going to be a very good sweet potato. We'll just use that one as one of the first ones. In a bed like this, sometimes it can be a bit of a pain trying to move all the dirt from one side to the other.
What I was just doing.
And you want to just pop it in there, and that way you can get down a little bit deeper. You keep going with those. I'm going to start grabbing some of these ones here that we're going to replant. And I'm going to pop a few of these in some pots. So some of these will go back into the bed. And some of these, I just want to pop straight into the pots and get them growing so we can plant them outside later. Okay, so I'm just going to use this pot here and these ones. And it literally is just kind of a matter of just sticking the bit of sweet potato in and topping it up with a bit of soil, and then we'll just water that in. These ones will go in here. Done. And these are just going to go back into the greenhouse, just so they're in a nice warm spot. We're a long way down now in there. In fact, it's probably good to show like how far down they actually go.
Oh, just tap that and snapped off.
Whoops.
Oopsies.
All right, just chuck it in with the rest. But yeah, a good idea is always kind of digging on one side and then tossing the dirt to the other side. And then what you can do is you can kind of toss the dirt back to the other side and dig down on the other side to see how many are on the other side. Gee, I explained that confusingly, didn't I? We're going to leave, see that piece there? Mm-hmm. We'll leave that piece because that will be able to regrow.
And this one?
Yeah, I reckon we leave that one as well.
Oh, it's a worm.
Thought we were just about done then, and then you've got right up into the corner. And I reckon you found another big one, haven't you?
Yep.
Alrighty, I reckon you've got pretty much all we're going to get out of that little bed. Do you want to start kind of flattening the soil back out? We'll pop the soil back in that you pulled out over here. And then we can plant all these little bits as well that we've pulled out. Have a bit of potato and a bit of root. And they'll be the ones that will restrike. Good work.
It appears that it's more empty, and it actually is because there's no sweet potatoes.
It is a bit more empty. So this is actually where normally what we would do is also put in a little bit of a top up of like some manure and compost and stuff like that too. And then we'll put a little bit of the sugarcane mulch on top. Okay, so see this bit here? What we're going to do is just
Bury it?
Well, we're going to lay that down. Yep, that's it, but not too deep because what we want is the roots under the ground. Like you see the bit of stem?
Yep.
That needs to be popping up above the surface.
Just like that?
Yep, that's perfect. Good job. Ooh, a little bit more up, I reckon. There we go. Oh, don't bury it. Okay, so see these bits now? Do you want to start planting these ones in here as well? So what you need is a bit of a hole, and then that can go in the hole. And again, we'll just bury it, but keep the green bits sticking up out of the ground. Awesome. Do you want to do that with the rest of these too?
Yep.
Ew. All right. Well, given your hands are dirty.
You.
No, please don't. Given your hands are so dirty, do you want to do the next bit, which is just putting a bit of the manure over the top? Now we've just redone our compost area, so we don't have any of our own compost, but a little bit of manure over the top. Sorry, guys. There goes my voice. A little bit of manure over the top. That will be good just to kind of help top it up a bit. We did put a lot of organics in it last season, so I could see the soil was actually still looking pretty good as we were digging through, so I'm not too stressed about having to add too much extra nutrition into the ground here. And as you can see, it kind of is all looking pretty scraggly with those little bits that I've stuck back in, and my youngest has stuck back in of the sweet potatoes. And that doesn't really matter. Like, they don't need to be the perfect little cuttings and perfect little bits of sweet potatoes we've found to restrike. Just kind of chucking those bits in like we have tends to take off again. And I better touch wood now, because now that we're showing you, hopefully it does all work like it normally does this year. All right, I reckon one more lot, and then do you want to put the straw on top?
All right.
You love doing straw?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, the straw that we're using is just some of the pea straw. And yeah, that is absolutely perfect the way you're doing that. Just a nice, fairly thin layer. We don't need too much. And a little bit on the other side as well. And that'll do it. You're just making sure they're all uncovered, aren't you?
Yeah.
Good work. I reckon we can call that done. Hopefully we'll be able to share with everyone when it all comes back in spring.
Yep.
So now that's done, do you want to show us your sweet potato haul?
Well, I believe this is my longest.
And I reckon that one could have been a bit longer, but it actually snapped off at the end there as well.
It was about here.
Yep.
But it was super deep down. Like, I actually think it might even be below this wooden pot somewhere.
You reckon that went into the natural ground?
Yeah, and this is our biggest.
That's the biggest one of all, you reckon? The heaviest?
Yeah.
It's nice and big and fat, that one, isn't it? Looking forward to eating that. So I know this isn't the biggest sweet potato harvest in the world compared to, you know, some of the ones that people share where they get really big amounts, but the reality is we're just growing in a tiny little bed here. Like that bed there wouldn't even be a metre by a metre, and we get a crop like this every year out of this bed. And yeah, sometimes it's even a little bit bigger as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago we did it together, and this was swarmed. Like it felt like the average sweet potato was this big.
It was. But yeah, this year at least none of them had been really eaten out by bugs. We didn't have anything that had been kind of nibbled by mice or rats or anything like that. So
Luckily.
yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the haul that we've got here for this season. Anyway, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed following along with us as we did our sweet potato harvest for 2024. And yeah, hopefully it gives you some ideas on growing sweet potato as well. You know, particularly if you're in a cooler growing zone like we are here in the Dandenong Ranges, just to see that you can kind of grow them and keep them growing year on year. So thanks a bunch for joining as always, guys. And catch you later. See ya. Righty, Goose, you want to give them a water?